first off, if you're a Florida Panthers fan, you're the only one. But you definitely have you're definitely upset.
Panthers.
Yes, because you have a goalie who makes $6.5 million more who does it. Hopefully, Bobrovsky rebounds like he's known to do. He has off seasons and then comes back and is on fire and will probably win the Vezina next season. But he's getting older, so it's harder to do.
It changes the East significantly.
What happens now with Matt Murray? Because Matt Murray, to me, I understand that he's had like a couple down years, but like Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Matt Murray's he's 3 years younger than Ekman-Larsson, different position. He's 26 years old. He's won 2 cups.
And over 200 games of NHL experience at his age is – who has that?
Right.
Who has that?
No
and
one.
who has that playing for winning teams?
He was a 919 the year before, had a bad playoff, but it was, 4 games, whatever. And Pittsburgh fans, I'm sure, would argue he was part of the reason it was 4 games. I'm sorry, you don't go from a 919 to a 906 by fluke. It was probably a little bit of give and take.
There's no way he plays with the Penguins next year, though.
No.
He's on whichever team needs a starting goalie.
I think it's going to be the Leafs.
You think Matt Murray,
Is it with Freddy or?
No, I think Freddie's gone. I think Freddie's going somewhere else, and I think the Leafs are going to take a swing at Matt Murray.
Murray and Campbell? Is it tandem?
Murray Campbell.
I think the value with trading Freddie is going to be too tantalizing for Kyle Dubas. The guy makes $1 million. Someone should legitimately – okay, if Kasperi Kapanen gets you a first-round pick, a starting goalie, even 1 year of him, should – for $1 million,
well, so apparently
should get you a first.
The Carolina Hurricanes were interested, but the starting point with the Leafs was Dougie Hamilton, and that was a non-starter for the Hurricanes. But that's
nuts.
That's nuts. And, of course, the Hurricanes wouldn't do that. No. So I think the thing is with Carolina is that's how you start. They hang up the phone, and then maybe they call back in a week and go, okay, what about not Dougie Hamilton?
You want your 13th overall pick back?
And when you say $1 million
for Freddie?
Steve,
sorry, Jesse.
When you say $1 million, it's not $1 million. It's $5 million is his cap hit, and he has a $4 million signing bonus that which has been paid out. So the cash that the team will have to pay him in this upcoming season will be $1 million.
And that's big for a team like Carolina. Yeah. That needed. They admittedly don't want to go with the Mrazek-Reimer pair. They want a legit starting goalie.
Oh, Freddie Reimer, the Ginger Crew. Oh, they're going to win the cup. And it's going to make me sad. Probably. You know what's going to really make us sad is when Freddie has a 960 in a playoff series against the Leafs this season.
Because guess what? They actually play defense in Carolina. I'm not sure if you know that, but they actually have a solid, rounded out top 6 defense. That's a good team. Freddie Andersen with a good defense in front of him. Everybody's down on Freddie right now. Man, watch the fuck out if he goes to Carolina. That's huge.
Or
that
anywhere.
Team will destroy everybody.
That former Leaf syndrome.
You know how we look at Tampa and you're like, that is almost a perfect team. Is Carolina not almost a perfect team if Freddie Andersen has a good year next year and he's playing there?
They're getting there. I was pretty disappointed with them in the playoffs.
Right, but they're young.
Yeah.
Usually young teams do disappoint in the playoffs. Usually. You don't usually see the upstart young guys win the cup, even Vegas, right? So it's usually some the teams that have failed and been there. So I'm curious about Matt Murray. I actually think he's kind of a good fit with the Leafs, but I might be crazy. What do I know about goaltending?
Back when Kyle Dubas actually spoke to me, this was years and years ago and pre NHL Kyle Dubas. This is when he was with the Sioux Greyhounds. I was talking to him a little bit before the 2011 draft. And I was just like, what are you seeing? What's out there? Tell me about these guys. Because he was in Major Junior. And I wish I still had the text. It was several phones ago. But it was something along the lines of Dougie Hamilton, not Doug's brother. Dougie Hamilton I think he either said he's going to be the best player from this draft or the best defenseman.
Wow.
And if you look at the 2011 draft, man, not far off. Not far off. He nailed that. And of course the Bruins got him. Of course.
With the Leafs pick.
I've told that story before, right? I think it was in the book, the Tyler Seguin story.
Yep.
Miserable. God, just torture. I know the Leafs would love to get him, but it's not happening.
I think they might be in on Matt Murray, guys. It's just, and you know what? The weird thing about it is when you're not hearing about it, the Leafs are probably in on it. You don't hear about what they're doing.
What goes the other way?
I don't think much. I don't know. It's a good question. Let's have a look.
He's an RFA, so
Yeah.
It's just for the rights.
So you've got to, well, what I think you do if you're the Leafs is you're not giving up anything until you have a deal hammered out with them. Because what you do if you're the Leafs, if you make that trade without having that deal in place beforehand and having permission to talk to them, you're fucked.
Yeah, then you're
totally fucked. Yeah,
then you're screwed.
So you don't make that trade. You don't do that because the Leafs did that with Bernier, and Bernier fucked them because that's what he should have done.
Supposedly, too.
You don't make a trade for an RFA until you've got a deal done with them. And if the team will not let you speak to the RFA, you don't do the deal because then you've already traded assets. The RFA goes, "What are you going to do? Not sign me?" You don't do that. It's just not a thing that you do.
So let's assume Dubas has got a deal done with Murray's agent, and now he just needs the assets to go back to Pittsburgh. What do you send?
Well, I think you probably look at
well, who are your best prospects?
Your bet. Yeah. I mean,
SDA?
Well,
SDA.
He had a weird year because he played really well with
Nick
Robertson. So I would imagine a guy like Rutherford, who's an old school guy, is not going to want to take a chance on a guy who's like 5'6". There's not a chance in hell.
He's pretty tiny. His NHL potential. He's a fascinating player. I don't know if he gets there.
There are guys on the team. I don't know if it's prospects. I feel like this is a pick situation, and I don't know if it's that big of a pick. I think
here's your 15th pick.
Well, no, you don't do that.
No.
But you've got Abramov, Korshkov. Like I could see maybe a Korshkov. I could see, and again, I'm not trying to be all Toronto about this. There would have to be more than that. But there's got to be probably some sort of name coming back. Korshkov's a big guy. He's 24. Probably could play in the NHL in a fringe situation right now, and he's going to make like $700,000. So that's perfect for a team like Pittsburgh. I think he'd be very good with Pittsburgh because he wouldn't be expected to play a huge role. In terms of active roster guys, if there's a bigger deal to be done with Florida, more than Matt Murray, I'd have a hard time thinking that Travis Dermott wouldn't be involved in that somehow. Like, what if it isn't just Matt Murray? And what if Pittsburgh gets a young, mobile defenseman who is actually going to be able to play the left side? Because as we've told you before, is Travis Dermott a guy that has the tools to do it? Yes. Are the Leafs going to play him in a top 4 role on the left side?
No.
Are they going to play him on the right side ever?
Never.
No.
And Sandin is the guy that's going to make the jump.
Mikko Lehtinen is going to play on the right before Travis Dermott does.
You might play on the right before Travis Dermott.
Honestly, maybe.
Yeah.
I shoot right, so I meet the qualifications.
Do it. They're not going to do it. So then I look at it and go, is there a bigger deal to be done with Pittsburgh? Now let me have a look at Pittsburgh's organizational depth chart because we are doing this on the fly, and frankly, people are like, "You don't know what the hell you're talking about." I'm like, I don't know. We were just shooting the shit, which is what we do on this.
The problem with looking at Pittsburgh's organizational depth chart, I have no idea what Jim Rutherford is doing.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It changes every week.
I know he's trying to save his team money. Is he trying to make them better? Because, we're not there yet. Sometimes it's first you make the money-saving moves, and then you go, okay, here's how we get better on the ice. No, not yet. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what this person's doing.
Well, I wonder, too, can you fill a hole that, what are because there's so many moving parts on the Leafs, it's sort of difficult to figure out what the holes are going to be, right? Mm-hmm. You, at this juncture, have basically 3/4 of your top line set up, right? You've got, the Matthews, Tavares, Tavares, Nylander, Matthews, Marner, sort of sorted out. You probably have Mikheyev with Tavares. I don't know if you have Janssen with Matthews, but you might be looking for a winger potentially to play with those guys. And then you've got either, whether it's Janssen or it's Robertson or whatever, that third line looks like Kerfoot, Robertson, Guy. And then I wonder, with your fourth line, you're probably going to bring Spezza back, but is he going to be a center? He's a good face-off winner.
And if he's not, I was thinking about earlier today. I'm not sold Spezza's coming back.
I think he will.
Really?
I am.
Because that'd be a change of mindset for you, Steve.
Where does he fit? To me, I'd love him back. To me, he's not an everyday player.
Yeah, maybe he's not. And that's okay. That's okay. I don't hate that. What if a guy like Teddy Bluger? Is that a throw-in?
It's not a throw-in, man. That's a great player.
Yeah, that's
what I mean. Well, that's what I mean. If you're giving up a guy like Dermott,
Hold on. See, Adam, they're coming for you. You shouldn't have said Teddy Bluger.
Damn,
they're coming for you.
Takes are hot.
Well, hey, here's a UFA. Patrick Marleau.
Yeah.
Get his rights from the Pittsburgh Penguins.
I am looking at the Penguins roster, though. By the way, I know he hasn't been great for the last few years, but is Justin Schultz all that bad as an option on the right side? I don't hate that.
I'm not.
Justin Schultz is Guy.
No, he's better than Guy.
No, he's Guy.
He's better than Guy anymore.
He's not your guy. He's not, to me, he's not what the Leafs need. And again, I told you, they need stops.
Okay, just checking.
To me, he's not.
Anyway, I don't know what that deal would look like, but I do think you could have something there. I think they're saving Travis Dermott for a guy like Travis Dermott who has a right-handed stick, mostly. That's what I think they're doing, man. Which is so silly.
That's so frustrating. God.
Which brings me to, and I'm going to flip some topics here because I wasn't going to go right here, but Florida, we heard yesterday, is open to any and all names except Alexander Barkov. Aaron Ekblad has been linked to the Leafs for years, at least through Leafs fans, and some in the media. Mm-hmm. Aaron Ekblad is the guy that Morgan Riley needs.
Oh, my God. That'd be so. And
if you bring in Aaron Ekblad, does that push Morgan Riley to the second power play unit again?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Is Aaron Ekblad going to give you the stops you need?
Is he good enough defensively?
Some. He'll be the best player Morgan Riley has ever been partnered with.
Ron Hainsey says hello.
Good enough. No, he's better than Ron Hainsey. How dare you?
How dare you? Not Peak Haynes' dog was incredible. You need to not diminish that man.
I do want to know what an Aaron Ekblad trade would look like. Not even to the Leafs. What does that even look like? Because now apparently he's again. When we talk about this in analytics terms, the tendency is to go, well, he's not as good as we thought, so he's washed. That's not true. Right? It's the same OEL thing. It's an Aaron Ekblad, I think, is a better defenseman right now and younger than OEL.
You need to up your vocabulary. Some people with numbers. You got to stop.
Don't speak
good and sucks. There's a different.
Either he's trash and he should never play again, or he's the greatest player in the world. There's no in between here.
I would say a number or a second, the second best defenseman on your team making $7.5 million, which is what Ekblad makes, is pretty good. Yeah, I'll take that.
These days,
it's pretty sweet, man.
And we've, the structure of deals is important. Ekblad's deal is bizarre. Here's his signing bonus versus base salary for the rest of his contract. 4 + 2 = 6. 3 + 6 = 9. 4 + 2 = 6. 3 + 4 = 7. 3 + 4 = 7.
So you got it for 5 more years.
And the Leafs can pay that.
The only thing I worry about is the 7.5 when Morgan Riley comes up next offseason. How do you afford to pay Morgan Riley when you already got 7.5 in Ekblad?
There is a rather vocal segment of Leafs Twitter, Jesse.
Oh.
That says just trade him while his value's there.
Trade Morgan Riley.
Similar situation to Freddy where you have him. You could just keep him because you have him, or you get a whack of value.